Oh snap, Glaze is going live.
Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me. Just in case you're joining me for the very first time, I'm your host, the one they call Brian Glaze Gibbs, and this is my ministry. What I do is I talk about my past experience. I talk about the good, I talk about the bad, I talk about the ugly. My objective for doing this is hopefully some of the things that I'm speaking about is able to reach the at-risk youth that's out there. You know, to get them to understand, you know what, I made a lot of mistakes and they don't have to make the mistake that me and so many others made. They can learn from my mistake. Today, what I'm gonna talk about communication. The importance of communication. Imagine, you know, you're in jail, you're in prison, you're on Rikers Island. And the biggest thing in Rikers Island, you know what, if you're in there and you can't get out, the biggest thing is how do you keep in contact with the outside world? Okay, you can write, okay, letters. You can call. People can come visit you. But once again, when you're on Rikers Island, the biggest thing is the jailhouse phone. Back then, most of them was free. You had some collect phones, but most of the phones in there was free, provided by, you know what I'm saying, the city. And you know what? You gotta remember, they had to monopolize on the phone, okay? Some of these guys in there, guess what? They had these phones locked down. And if you wasn't somebody, if you wasn't strong enough, guess what? You couldn't use the phone. Or if you used the phone, you only had a small amount of time. And, you know, I can tell you a few stories. Like, you know, for example, I can remember, like I said right now, was being on Rikers Island. And I can remember, you know, being on Rikers Island, you know, getting stabbed, you know what I'm saying, over the phone. You know, I'm talking about C-74, the woman house. Why? Because once again, you got to monopolize. You taking advantage. You hogging up all the phone, you and your guys, and you giving very little to the crew and the other guys. So eventually, you know what? You're gonna cause some type of like jealousy. You're gonna cause some type of resentment because once again, folks, everybody want to be able to use the phone. And I don't care, sometimes you think because you got a little respect or you got a little power or you got the right crew, you feel right now as you running stuff. But what you got to remember, guess what? Everything come to an end. I'm going to tell you about a little situation. Being in HDM. Being in HDM, this was in 1986, 87. And I can remember being in 2 block HDM. And, you know, that little section, you probably had like, I don't know if I can, anywhere from like 6 to 8 phones. And everybody had little slot times. You had different section and different, like, you know what I'm saying, nationality. They had their little clique, they had their little slot times or whatever. So you gotta let the general population use the phone from a certain period of time, then everybody got slot time. So here it is, I was in there, I had my slot time, a couple other guys had a slot time. It was this big guy from Brooklyn, Brownsville, named G. And right now, like G was probably like 6'1", 6'2". I'm talking about big muscle bound dude. Like I'm talking about muscle in his eyebrow, muscle in his lip, muscle in his teeth, muscle all over, man. So here it is, Flacco. Flacco was an old timer. So basically Flacco was probably like in his late 40s, early 50s. Slang guy, but real cool, speak very little English. I don't know what was going on at that particular day in time, but Flacco was on the phone and he was going over his time that he entered into G time. So he entered into G slot time, whereas like, you know, G probably had from, you know, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock before the count. So anyway, Flacco went over and went into G time, and G was having a fit. He kept going to Flacco, yo, man, you on my phone time. Get off the phone, man. What's wrong with you, man? And you know what? Normally, Flacco was a mellow, humble, older dude. But you can tell that he was going through something. I don't know whether he was having a fight with his wife or having a disagreement with his kid or talking to his lawyer about his court case or immigration problem. I don't know what problem Flacco was going through. But guess what? He was staying on the phone. And G kept coming up to him. Woo, 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 like he's a pit bull, you know? So, eventually, what wound up happening, Flacco kept going like this, like 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. That 1 minute turned into 5 minutes. That 5 minute turned into 10 minutes. That 10 minute turned into 30 minutes. And G furious. Yo, you better get the hell off the phone. What's wrong with you? Get off my phone right now. So here it is. You watch Flacco. And what he did was he hung up, took the phone and hung it up. You see it. You see the phone going down, clicking on it, putting it back. And next thing you know right now is, as fast as he put that phone down, he took the handle of the phone and he popped G, boom, right in his eye, in the bottom of his eye. And it blew up like a big balloon. Like, boom, 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 boom. Like, whoa, we looking. And we saying, yo, G gonna kill Flacco. But you see, his eye just kept like blowing up. And the difference is, G just like, yo, what you did that for? Yo, Flacco, what you did that for? Yo, look at my eyes. So everybody thinking G gonna kill Flacco. Right now, when Flacco hit him in his face, in his eye with that phone, and his eye got so big, he took all of the confidence out of G. You ain't hear G going woo, 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 like he was a pit bull, like he was a Doberman Pinscher, like he was a German Shepherd. Right now you're hearing G like he's a Yorkie, like he's a poodle. And the difference was, when you sit back, folks, you don't know what the next man is going through. You don't know, like I say, normally Flacco is a mellow, cool, down-to-earth guy. But the difference, the way G was coming at him, being aggressive, being disrespectful, Flacco was smooth with his approach. And he just took that phone handle, like I said, as he's putting it down, he acted like he put it down, and as fast as he put it down, he took it like he was giving to G, bop, bop right upside his eye. And right now, that took all the confidence out of G. G wasn't the same. And like you say, you start seeing blood bursting out, and you seeing G like panicking. So all that woo-woo, all that guerrilla gangster stuff went out the window. Folks, never underestimate anybody. And the difference right now is, you don't know what people is going through. You don't know whether he got bad news that somebody in his family was dying, or right now is, guess what, we can't bail you out. Or, you know what, listen, man, here it is, everything's not going courtly, you just had death in the family, whatever. We don't know what people is going through. That's why you have to be very, very cautious in your approach. Whether you're incarcerated, whether you're in the street, whether you're at work, whether you're at school, whether you're on a bus, whether you're on a train, whether you're on a plane, whether you're in a restaurant, you always have to be mindful and respectful. You always got to watch how you treat people. Because once again, you know what? You can come with that Bruno Sammartino mentality like G did, and you got somebody like Flacco, humble and meek. And what he's gonna do is, he's gonna take out that invisible pen and stick it in your balloon and burst it, and all that air gonna go out of it. All that toughness, all that gangsterism, all that, that craziness go right out of you. And what you do is, you start acting like a little Yorkie, like a poodle, when before you was that pit bull. Folks, listen, be mindful, be respectful. You know why? Because once again, folks, it's not about that. Listen, take it from somebody that know. If I can change, anybody can change. My name is Brian Glaze Gibbs. Change comes from within. Hit that like button, subscribe, get your signed copy of the Beyond Lucky book, a true story of crack, money, murder, and redemption, by emailing me, Brian, B-R-I-A-N, Gibbs, Gibbs, 1201 @yahoo.com. Get your signed copy, and I'll throw in Straight from the Street Volume 1 or Straight from the Street Volume 2 audiobook. Peace, love, and prosperity. One love.
Just got my copy of Beyond Lucky by Brian Glaze Gibbs. Thank you so much for sending me my personalized autographed copy. I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a long time, so I'm really excited to get to know some of your stories and what made you you and how this redemption came about. I know you're a changed man, and I'm looking forward to seeing the whole process of how it happened. Thank you.